Do you feel like your hair has been stuck at the same place since 1997? Do you feel like your hair grows slowly? Do you feel like it stopped growing altogether? So in this video, I'm going to share with you some reasons, some things that you might be doing unknowingly that are slowing your hair growth. Thing number one. This is something that you may not realize affects your hair growth, but it affects your hair growth, it affects your skin, it affects the way that you feel, and that is not eating enough. When our body is in an energy deficit, when we're not getting enough nutrients, macronutrients, micronutrients, our body will start sacrificing some things like your hair and the health of your skin, because those things are just on the bottom of your body's list of priorities. In my personal experience, when I haven't been eating enough, my hair is like the first thing on the chopping block. It is the first thing for my body to say, okay, we don't need this. So if you're losing a lot of hair, this is actually slowing down your hair growth. So in order for your hair to grow past a certain length, it actually has to stay attached to our scalp. If it's falling out before it can reach the length that you want it to be, then it's never going to get there. So if you are shedding a lot, that is the first thing that you need to look at, the first thing to focus on before you even think about growing it long. If you've been trying to grow your hair out while simultaneously losing weight, whether that's on purpose, not on purpose, this could be a major reason why it feels like your hair isn't growing fast, why it feels like it stopped growing, why it feels like it's shedding, why it doesn't look its best. So how do you know if you're eating enough food? A good indication of knowing if you're eating enough food are your energy levels. How do you feel throughout the day on days when you had a really good night's sleep? What are your moods like? Do you feel like you're in a relatively good mood most of the time? Do you feel like you're relatively irritable most of the time and fatigued? Do you get hungry a lot during the day? At night, do you sometimes wake up and feel hungry and your stomach's grumbling? Do you feel like you're having difficulty sleeping? All of these factors may be a sign that you're not consuming enough food. This next one is one of those things where you feel like you're doing something good for your hair, but it can be too much of a good thing. And that is you get your hair trimmed too often. The average hair growth is about ½ an inch per month. So if you're getting trims every month, every 6 weeks, then your hair is going to stay at the same length. People who need to get their hair trimmed that often are people who are trying to maintain a certain hairstyle. So if you're trying to grow your hair, you need to extend the period of time in between your trims so that you can actually get a gain and not a loss, or even your hair staying exactly the same. But definitely use your own discretion on this, because if our hair is damaged, if it's unhealthy, if we're trying to grow out straight ends or damaged pieces, then we do need to cut our hair more often. But if your hair is healthy, then you can definitely extend the period of time in between trims. For myself, I don't really do major trims more than like once a year. And this has allowed me to grow my hair longer than it has ever been in my entire life. This next one, I know I'm guilty of it, and I know many of you out there are probably also daydreamers. Do you daydream when you detangle your hair? If you are detangling when you're not paying attention, when you're not conscious, you're actually probably doing a lot of damage to your hair. Because I know for myself personally, if I'm not paying attention when I'm detangling my hair, I am so much rougher than when I'm paying attention. And when you're rough, you're breaking your hair off, you're pulling it out of the roots, and like we talked about earlier, if your hair is shedding too much, it can't actually grow past that certain length. So make sure when you're detangling that you are conscious. Whatever you have to do to be conscious, use it as like a practice of meditation when you're detangling your hair. Like, yes, I'm detangling my hair. I'm gonna pay attention to every stroke. I'm gonna look at my hair. I'm gonna think happy thoughts, try to be as relaxed, as gentle as possible, because we're in a state of being relaxed. We're gonna be more gentle on our hair than if we're upset. Do not touch your hair when you're upset. You are definitely going to be more rough with it than you would usually. And this is related to the next reason why your hair might not be growing, and that is you are detangling wrong. You are detangling from your root to your ends, especially if you have curly hair or wavy hair, hair that gets easily tangled. If you detangle from the roots, you're going to be ripping your hair out all the way down. So you need to start at the base, at the ends of your hair, and slowly work your way up. If you meet a tangle that you can't get out with a comb, put down the comb, use your hands, and just feel that knot and try to detangle it with your hands. Always start from root to tip, not tip Wait, no, that's the opposite. Always detangle from your ends to your roots. Next thing, more in detangling, because detangling is huge. That is when we can do some serious damage to our hair in terms of breakage, in terms of hair loss. Take this opportunity to take care of your hair to help push you along your hair growth journey instead of setting you back weeks, months, years. So I started detangling out of the shower because my hair is really long now and it takes a really long time to detangle in the shower. The problem with detangling out of the shower is that there isn't any slip. There's no conditioner in, it's just you're detangling on dry hair. So make sure you are not detangling on dry hair. So when our hair is soaking wet, it's actually very fragile. But when it's crispy dry, it's prone to breaking off. So you kind of need to find that sweet spot in the middle where it's just a little bit damp with some really good detangling products. Or even something as simple as coconut oil. That's what I use. I put coconut oil in my hair and then I detangle it. It's so much more easy to detangle. It glides through with the comb so much easier. It glides through my hands so much easier. I get less shedding, I get less breakage. So this is something that I couldn't recommend enough. If you're detangling in the shower, I recommend detangling out of the shower with some kind of detangler. This next thing is something that a lot of us do because you want to enjoy your hair, you want to feel it floating in the breeze, you want to like wear it out. And that is you wear your hair down every single day, all day. Now wearing your hair down, of course, is nice. It's actually can be very freeing for your scalp because it's not being like pulled on. But when our hair is loose, when our hair is free, especially if it is curly, it is very prone to damage. There's so many things. For example, I walked into my microphone stand like clipped onto my hair and like I had to like get that out of my hair. There's just so many things in the environment that can break or damage your hair. Just everyday things like coats, bags, jackets, children. Your children like to pull on your hair? Mine do. Throughout your day-to-day life, try to keep your hair up as much as possible. Not in tight ponytails, not in tight slicked back buns, but hairstyles that are comfortable and up but loose, whether that's a pineapple or even like clipped up with a claw clip at the back. That's kind of my favorite thing to do because you can pull your hair low to the base of your head where it's the most secure and the least amount of tension on your scalp. So the best hairstyles that I find for not irritating your scalp, not losing excess hair, not causing tension of the scalp are low hairstyles, low buns, low braids, low pigtails. Just try not to put too much weight up here, especially if your hair is already long. This creates a lot of weight and strain on the roots and you can actually start losing some hair. This last one is huge. It's probably the #1 reason why many of us can't seem to get our hair to grow where we want it to grow. And this simple little thing is boredom. Have you ever said the sentence, I feel bored of my hair right now. I'm bored of my hair. I feel like I want to do something different with my hair. We've all been there. We look at the same hair day in and day out and we just want to see something different in the mirror, especially if we're feeling just like bored in general. But this feeling, this boredom doesn't last and it can actually be counterproductive to us trying to grow our hair, especially if when we're bored we do things like straighten our curly hair, use hot tools in general, curling irons. If we bleach our hair because we want to change our hair color, we dye it because we want to change our hair color, or even sometimes we end up like cutting it just because we're bored. Last year I cut bangs because I wanted to feel something. Sometimes we're bored, we don't always make the best decisions. So definitely keep that in mind if you're feeling that desire to like change your hair, to like change something. Maybe take that energy and like focus it, maybe not on like the physical, but maybe like start doing some new activity. Keeping your hair up is actually really helpful with the boredom thing. It just not really seeing it, it's like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing, works really great for me. And also when you're busy, this really helps to make you not think about your hair as much. It's kind of like when you watch plant grow, like it's gonna feel like it's taking a million years, but if you like set it, take care of it and forget it, you're like, wow, look at this beautiful tree that I've grown. Like, how did it happen so quickly? It's the same thing with your hair. You take care of it, but don't watch it too closely, don't get bored of it, don't fixate on it because it just makes the whole growth journey feel like it's taking forever. Even after trying to refocus your energy and refocus your attention, you're still feeling that bored feeling. Just try doing some different hairstyles. Go on Pinterest and Google some funky hairstyles. The act of like braiding your hair in a new way or doing something different can be very relaxing and kind of like scratch that itch of like needing to see something new in the mirror. Try some heatless hairstyles. I did that for a little while when I wanted to do something new. It was fun, and then after a while I'm like, hey, I miss my curls, and then it was easy to go back to it. So always think about whatever you're doing, ask yourself, is it worth it? Am I going to be able to go backwards? And my biggest advice if you're trying to grow your hair right now is to love your hair where it is right now, every step of the journey, because that love and that care, that attention is going to be needed every step of your hair growth journey. When it is shorter, when it is medium length, when it is super long and it takes an hour to detangle, you're gonna need that love to get you through it. When you do get to your hair growth goal, it's not really the end. You're still going to have to do all the things that you're doing before. So try to love where you are, and it'll go by so much quicker than you think. Please, my friends, drop some of your hair growth tips in the comments below. What are some things that you do to grow your hair, to take care of your hair? Is there something that you realized that you were doing that was actually not helping your hair growth? I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.